Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine for a moment, what if humanity had a secret escape plan? Like a whole other planet nobody talks about.
Mhm.
A place built, supposedly, with super advanced AI, all kept under wraps, ready for, well, the day we might lose this world.
Right.
Today, we're diving into some pretty mind-bending claims. They're swirling around something called Alpha Earth, the secret backup planet.
Yeah, it's quite a name.
And forget Mars, forget the moon. These sources we're looking at, they suggest something way bigger. A mirrored synthetic Earth hidden, well, hidden in plain sight, maybe.
It's an audacious claim, definitely.
Yeah. So our mission here really is to unpack these claims about this alleged digital and physical Earth 2.0. We've got whispers, data leaks, and pretty chilling whistleblower accounts.
It's quite the collection of source material.
We want to explore its supposed purpose and, what it could mean if any of this is true. And just to be clear up front, we're exploring the claims as they are in the material. We're not endorsing them, just trying to understand the story they tell.
Absolutely. It's a fascinating narrative. And what's striking here, I think, compared to maybe other leaks, is the sheer scale. And some of the details are surprisingly specific.
Specific how?
Well, the material doesn't just offer vague theories. It points towards a highly secretive project, the kind of thing that would exist totally off-grid.
Okay.
And it immediately brings up questions that the sources themselves seem to pose, like why do some satellites just vanish from public maps?
Right. And the other one, why do whistleblowers talking about these things often just disappear?
Exactly. Those are the hooks in the source material.
So let's really dig into this core concept then.
Hmm.
Alpha Earth. The material calls it a secret backup planet, a mirror of Earth, a digital and physical Earth 2.0. It sounds like pure sci-fi, doesn't it?
It does on the surface,
Hmm.
but the way the sources describe its nature, it's interesting.
How so?
They don't just present it as some theoretical idea. It's described as a place built by humans for humans,
Uh-huh.
and then there's that kicker,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe just a few of them.
Ah, right, that part.
Yeah. And it's not framed as like a rough colony or some test site. The implication is a fully functional, highly engineered alternative Earth, ready to go.
Like a complete duplicate, not just a distant outpost somewhere.
Precisely. A duplicate, not a cousin. That's the core idea presented.
And that phrase, built not to save us all, but to save a few, that really jumps out.
It certainly does. It sets up the entire ethical dimension right away.
Okay, so we have this mind-bending concept of a mirrored Earth. The next big question, maybe the most critical one, is, if this is real, who's behind it? And why? What's the alleged motivation for something so huge, so secret?
Well, according to these claims, the purpose is pretty consistently framed as an escape plan.
For who?
For the elites, and the sources put it. The narrative suggests it's a way to bypass the big global problems, climate collapse, maybe war, overpopulation, whatever threatens the status quo here.
A lifeboat, but a very exclusive one.
That's the picture painted. And when you look at who is allegedly building it, the sources point to this convergence of, well, immense wealth, cutting-edge tech, and extreme secrecy.
Like what?
We're talking alleged trillion-dollar black budgets, funds supposedly so secret they're completely off the public radar. Then add powerful tech billionaires, AI-focused defense firms, space agencies, private contractors, and, crucially, advanced deep learning models, AI itself.
Wow. So a kind of shadowy consortium with almost unlimited resources working in the dark.
That's the allegation.
Which brings us to maybe the most fascinating part of these claims. The role of AI in this, well, not quite terraforming, is it? How Alpha Earth is supposedly being built.
Right. The material is pretty specific here. It talked about AI designing the perfect ecosystem.
Not just building domes, but crafting a whole living world.
Exactly. And this links back to the motivation, the why. The claims state that traditional terraforming, making Mars habitable is just too slow.
Impractical for an urgent escape plan.
Apparently. So instead, the focus is supposedly on AI-simulated Earth environments.
Okay, what does that mean exactly?
Well, the idea presented is that these deep learning models, really complex AI, are being used to build ecosystems more stable than our real one, all within isolated environments.
Wow. AI creating something better, more resilient than nature itself, even in a controlled setting.
That's the implication in the source material, a perfected simulated Earth, perhaps built piece by piece.
And the sources even give us these visuals, right? Futuristic underground labs, vast data centers, robotic engineers assembling habitats, it sounds. Yeah, cinematic. Almost too slick.
It does paint a vivid picture. But playing devil's advocate for a second, isn't that kind of imagery pretty standard in science fiction? How did the sources try to ground this, make it seem less like pure fantasy?
That's a fair point. I think the difference lies in how the sources connect these visuals to alleged, well, tangible hints or evidence. This is where it starts to feel a bit more unsettling. The reports mention data leaks, for instance, that supposedly hint at underground bunkers, orbital stations, and Mars simulations. Not just abstract ideas, but actual facilities being pointed to.
Right. And this is where the narrative tries to shift from just a concept to something,
Yeah.
well, something potentially real, however unlikely it seems. The allegations mention those cloaked satellites, the ones that apparently vanish from maps.
Yeah, what's that about?
Well, the implication is deliberate hiding of orbital assets related to the project. And then there are claims about underground bases in Antarctica expanding. Specific, almost checkable details, if you knew where and how to look, which of course we don't, pieces that don't quite fit the public picture.
And it gets darker. The sources also mention leaked documents and these stories of whistleblowers silenced, vanishing without a trace, like we mentioned earlier.
Which feeds into the whole conspiracy element, obviously. The idea of a powerful group actively suppressing information.
But there's one whistleblower claim buried in the material that just stops you in your tracks.
Oh, which one?
The claim is, we're not on the original Earth anymore.
Wow. Okay, wait. We're not on the original Earth anymore.
Yeah.
How do the sources even begin to explain that? What does that even imply about the scale of this alleged deception? That's reality-altering stuff.
It is. The sources don't give a clear how we got here. It's presented more as the ultimate kind of mind-bending possibility, designed to make you doubt everything. It suggests a level of control and secrecy that's almost impossible to grasp.
Yeah, no kidding. That kind of claim, it pushes beyond a secret project into questioning a reality itself.
Absolutely. And it leads us right into the huge ethical questions this whole narrative raises, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. When you consider the alleged purpose and escape plan, not to save us all, but to save a few, you're forced into some very uncomfortable moral territory.
So yeah, what does this all mean? This whole idea forces you, the listener, to think about this huge ethical dilemma woven into the claims. Is Alpha Earth supposed to be humanity's salvation? Or is it betrayal?
And the sources, the way they frame it, they don't really pull punches. They present a stark contrast. When only the rich and powerful have a ticket, the rest of us are left with a dying planet.
Oof.
It really forces the question, who deserves a second Earth? I mean, what criteria could possibly justify that kind of selection? It hits right at the core of fairness, resources, our whole collective future.
It's a really heavy thought, isn't it? Just the sheer size of these claims and the questions they leave behind. They're immense.
They are. And this entire narrative, whether you believe a word of it or dismiss it completely, it does push us to think critically about information, about power, about where we might be heading as a species.
It challenges you to think, what would our priorities be if faced with something like this?
Definitely.
And that really brings us to the final questions the source material leaves hanging out there for you, listening, to chew on. If Alpha Earth is real, would you even want to go?
Or would you choose to stay, fight to fix this Earth?
And maybe the most unsettling thought, the sources plant. If we're already there, how would we possibly know?
Yeah, that's one that lingers. Something to think about long after this.